Injury update real quick. Xavier Gooden will not play in this game. He came back and he tweaked a little bit. And they didn't re-pull it, but he tweaked it enough. We just need to get those hamstrings, as you all know, are very sensitive, and we need to get him healed up, so we'll get that done, and then we won't get anybody else back. Central Florida is a very good football team. They're well coached. They're disciplined, and it's very, very impressive. They got good size. They run well, and they're very talented. So they played Ohio State very, very close down in the fourth quarter, and got great respect for what they're doing, what they're getting done. Probably the most disappointing thing about our football game the other day was just our kicking game and the field position consequences of it. We work very hard at that. We've played in a lot of big games with kicking game, and I think you give them credit because their kicking game certainly gave them the field position, most of the short fields they got, and certainly I'm very disappointed in that, and I'm responsible for that. So it's my job to get that fixed, and I tend to do that. So as we speak, our players are finishing up classes. They'll get in, they're watching video. They do that all the time, and in preparation for this game, and as you go through the season, the games just get bigger and bigger as you go.
Gary, can you just describe where you think James is, both in terms of physically and even confidence, whether he's having any struggles?
Oh, I think he's, I think he can play better, but I think he's doing okay. I think generally, anytime you look at an offense, you're going to, especially our offense, if we're struggling, they're going to point to the quarterback. We understand that. What we do is we break everything down. We see the receivers, we see the offensive line, we see every aspect of it, and so he'll. I believe in him, and I expect him to get better.
And with regard to that, just what do you see as the major things clogging up the offense right now? I mean, some of it's evident, I guess, but what?
Well, I think you got to block better, you got to throw better, and you got to catch better. And if we do all those things better and more consistent, then we'll move the ball better. And that's the facts.
Did you come off game film seeing things that made you say that was us, as opposed to?
Oh no, I think we broke ourselves down a lot, but I don't think that's very fair to sit there and say that we played this average team and we didn't execute very well. We played a very good football team, and I'm very disappointed the way we executed. I think we're better than that, and you certainly give them credit as I always do.
Gary, James kind of said after the game, getting hesitant sometimes because of the pressure. Is that when you're in a rut like he's been? Is that natural for a quarterback to kind of struggle with anticipating the rush?
Oh, I don't know. I think you go through that a little bit. I think he gets a little frustrated, but I think that's kind of normal. I mean, he understands it's going to be a little bit different because we have a young offensive line, but the young offensive line is going to get better too. They'll get better and better as we go. And, we held up in many ways. We got to the point where we were down 3 touchdowns and you're throwing the ball every minute, and that's not very good against that defense. But, our offensive line did a lot of good things against a really good football team. So that we're having breakdowns all over the place, and that's we've been here before. It's not fun. Where it gets fixed is on the practice field and the consistency in doing things on the practice field, and then carrying those over game day, and that's something that we're going to work very hard to do.
Coach, last week you said that you needed to throw the ball down a little bit more. Did you accomplish that, or what are your thoughts about that?
Well, we didn't get it down the field as much as we wanted to, no. So we're going to work to do it this week.
Also, your tailbacks are averaging over 6 yards per carry. Obviously, quarterbacks, they get negative yardage, and add into their averages, But still, are you giving any thought to trying to get the ball to the tailbacks?
Well, you get the combined number, and also we only had the ball 58 snaps. This one we had before we had 80 some. Our average overall is 80. So that's gonna be gets complicated.
Gary, when you come off a game like that, how much do you rely on, whether it's your captains, your seniors, whoever it is that you look to kind of lead the team from within when the coaching staff's not around?
Well, the leadership responsibility for this football team and program is me. Okay, that's my job. That's my job to fix the problems that we have here. Obviously, I have a good staff. I got good seniors, good captains, and it's hard to win, and you got to play well in order to win. You can't go in and play your B or C game and win games. You're not going to do it, especially against the people we've been playing. And so we recognize that. But I'll meet with the seniors here at 4:45 like I do every week. what I always do in the team meeting on Sundays is I tell the team exactly, they can forget about what their parents say, they can forget about what they read, they can forget about all the stuff that's out there, and I'm going to tell them what's wrong with our football team. Okay, and I've done that since the day I coached. Okay, so you can ignore everything out there, and I'm going to tell you what we got to do to get better. And it's consistent. They expect it. What we need to do is we need to just keep improving to get better.
Gary, is there anything in the offensive playbook right now that maybe is hesitant to be run, given the inconsistency with help at quarterback and the offensive line?
When you're not moving the ball, you're going to question, the play calling. You're going to question the long balls. You're going to question how many carries. You're going to question how well the offensive line's blocking. So we all know that. I understand that. We're working hard to fix it.
Are you seeing anything different from defenses to stop that read option play, especially when the quarterback keeps it?
No, there's a lot of things that go along with that. It's keeping it, it's throwing it. There's a lot of things, and we got to do a better job of that.
Are you pleased with the decisions that are being made in the run game, read zone?
Yes.
Gary, can you just assess what?
The more I get here, the more I know how to solve the problems of our offense. So I appreciate all your help.
Can you just assess the way Sheldon's playing right now and what the dynamics are of what's enabling him to do that?
He played very, very well. I mean, he was all over the place. He's maturing. He's playing more consistent. Being in the program all summer, 2-a-days. You're just going to see a different guy. He's just going to get better and better, and he's working hard in practice. He's got a great attitude, and but he's really, he really is playing very, very well. He made a lot of plays in that game, and he, as I mentioned to you, we used several times. We used him as examples to our defense. If he's running downfield on a tackle 25 yards downfield as a defensive tackle, and as I mentioned to you before, which I was going to say a moment ago, is he has remarkable movement for a guy that weighs 292 pounds, give or take 2 or 3, per day. He is, and it's just nice to see that he's become a dominating player.
You're seeing him mature with that on the field. How are you liking how he's coming along off the field?
I think he's doing a lot of good things. He's doing a lot of good things. What I always tell about not him, but anybody in our football program, your name keeps coming across my desk because I get reports every day. I get academic reports. I get weight room reports. I get training room reports. And, we got to be accountable, responsible for everything we do. And if your name doesn't come across my desk, that's good, okay? And if it comes across my desk, that's not very good. His isn't coming across at all. And so I think he's being very, very responsible, doing a lot of good things.
How do you balance that with your concerns about him, I guess, with the media? I mean, is that a period of time now where?
Well, I'll make a decision when that will happen.
You were very complimentary of Connor Shaw after the game,
Mhm.
quarterback. Can you give me your insight on the pass rush, and anything South Carolina did to try to counteract it?
Well, I think what they did is they mixed it up really well. They had that dump route that you dumped it quite a few times. That one drive, I think, hit 4 in a row in zone coverage. And so, and we also didn't execute. We made some breakdowns in our secondary coverage, the fundamental disciplines you have to have. And so I think, I give him a lot of credit. But you go back and look at the film, we did not help our cause. And so we're going to learn from it and get better.
Is there anything in particular you would attribute the missed tackles to, and how would you go about improving that?
Generally, we have not had hardly missed tackles at all this year, and generally that is focus, lack thereof, that you're not zeroed in. Okay, when you see that many, because that looked ugly, and that doesn't look like Missouri football. So we intend to fix that too.
Coach, it's not too often when EJ Gaines gets physically beat, I guess, but there was a moment at near the end of the second quarter. Ace Sanders got the touchdown, I think, over the top, and maybe he got beat at the line. Just wondering what you saw in that play, and also just your thoughts on his position and just maybe how a slight mistake can kind of be magnified. If it was.
Well, those corners are on an island. He loves it though. I mean, he's got the disposition, he's got the competitiveness, all the stuff, And you're right. It's very rare do you ever see a ball completed towards him. And he made a couple fundamental errors, and they made some plays. And I know him; he'll come back and battle through it. But it's There's no question about it. That's like a lineman. The only time you recognize an offensive lineman is when their guy they block gets a sack, and so they stand out. And the corners are the exact same way. When you're out there all by yourself, you're covering a receiver, and you're on an island by yourself, and your major mistakes will get exposed. Where some other people's major mistakes, everybody's trying to figure out who made the wrong play or wrong leverage or wrong assignment.
In regard to Dorial, do you think that he expected to be doing more by this point, or is he showing patience in terms of his production?
We had 58 plays, and I think he played 26. So we're getting him in more. We called his number a bunch of times, coverage-wise, rolls. It's happened before. It has. So we intend to try to get him the ball more. He's getting a lot better in practice. Like I've said before, my message to him is this: you focus on working in this. I would said the same thing. Denario, J-Mac, I go Rucker, I go Kaufman, who was down at the game. I had a chance to see Chase down there. It's the same thing. It's not going to change. As you focus on becoming a better player, okay? That's all you focus on. You don't worry about any expectations, and that's how it's going. That's how you will fulfill your potential. And hopefully he's listening to me.
Does he continue to have a pretty good attitude as the season has gone on?
Yeah, I think so. Have you noticed walking to class being grumpy or something?
No.
Okay.
Let's see.
No, I think he's got a good attitude.
You guys are showing a lot of confidence in Donovan Bonner whenever you need somebody to come in on that linebacker. But how does the defense change when Xavier's not in there or when he's not completely open?
Well, Xavier's, he can run. He's a heck of a football player. And he was having a great, his first couple of games, he was playing as good as he's ever played. And certainly his leadership, both. And he leads by example. He's not a real vocal player. But, it's like anything. You lose a real good player, you have to have people come in and fill the spot. And so hopefully we can get him back. But I think Donovan's come in and done a good job. But any time, this business is so much easier to do when you stay healthy. It's a lot easier. But it doesn't work like that sometimes. And that's why we are very sensitive for those who get hurt, but we move them over, move up, and the expectation level does not change. And that's the way we do things.
So are you looking at both punters this week? Got an or on?
Yeah, we're going to have that competition, and however that comes out, we'll decide Thursday morning who's going to kick.
What about kickoffs in the same respect?
We're going to keep that the same.
Has there been a trend with Barrow this year, or is that just something that came from Saturday?
Excuse me?
To have Barrow tied the top of the depth chart, does that have more to do with Saturday, or is that a trend?
Oh, you mean compared just to one football game or the entire season thus far? We just want more consistency out of and his backup is doing really good. Has been doing really good in practice. So we just decided to make it competitive, which we do sometimes, and we'll see where that goes.
Maybe for a decision about Sean Colkin yet as far as
Yeah, we're gonna most likely redshirt him.
Gary, I know in the past before you've used younger freshman quarterbacks for a series in a game. I know James did that, Chase did that. Has there been any discussion among the staff of doing that with Corbin here, and what goes into that decision to use younger quarterbacks for just a series of games?
What we do on all our players in our entire play in the game is we meet Thursday morning and go through every position, and at that time we decide if there's any substitution, every player, and that's when we'll do that. We'll do every like we always do, and we'll make the decisions then.
Kendall seems to have gained another step, and his yards per carry is up significantly. What would you attribute that to?
He's been working remarkably hard. And we saw them all, out there. A lot of y'all were at a lot of our practices. Just a great work ethic, and he is really, his acceleration, his burst. I think, his acceleration, reminds me a lot, and they're very similar in many ways, like all those guys are. And I think that, he's finding seams and he's hitting them. He's doing a little less dancing around. I think Henry Josie probably that's a little, watching Henry play when he was hurt a little bit last year, watching Henry play. And I think just say I got great speed and acceleration. He can get going fast, quick, and so he's doing a really, really good job.
What did you say to him about fumbling the pitches?
I told him not to fumble it, to wrap it up. Well, we were +1 on this game, okay? In the Georgia game, we were minus, so that's how we're in those 2 losses, okay? I think if you look back and when we've been +1, I don't know if it's the last 5 or 7 years, we've won about 92% of our games. So it isn't 100% that it's going to happen, but statistically, it's in a huge favor if you can do it. And so hopefully we'll continue to do it. Have a great day. Thank you. Appreciate you being here.